Oh, it's our last home game. Senior night should be a special night, especially for Mark. Steven just told me he's got 79 wins here at Coleman, so hopefully we can get to 80. Sounds a lot better than 79. So he's had a really good career here. He's playing well. Like I've said this a few times, and it's continuing. I think he's playing the best basketball of his career on both sides of the ball right now. This game's got a lot of meaning. Regular season is decided now with our loss to Tennessee and Auburn's win, but still a lot to play for. SEC seeding, NCAA tournament seeding. We've got to get to playing our best basketball in March. I thought we played really well against Tennessee. Didn't close it like we needed to, but played well. Best we played there in a long time. So a lot of positives out of that game that we need to take moving forward, and we just need to do a better job closing games, and I'll do better by our guys moving forward in some of that stuff. So Darion's started back doing basketball workouts. He's still week to week. He won't be playing tomorrow, but our four seniors should all be good to go, and should be a good day. So another interesting stat, I guess it's only the second time ever that Florida and Alabama have both been top 10 in this matchup, which is a lot of games between Alabama and Florida, history of the SEC. So the last time our esteemed Antoine Petway had the Petaway, for those of you that are old enough to remember, which looks like most of you are not, but I'm going to leave here, go to Dr. Bittner's office, a little under the weather, and the room they always put me in always has the picture of Antoine Petway making his pet away, put Florida away. So hopefully we got another good game. Stephen did give me the score to that game. It was 65-64. I anticipate the score of this one being a little bit higher, with both them and us being some of the higher scoring teams in the country, and we're both top 3 in rebounds. So pace of this game will probably be a little bit better than the pace of that game back 23 years ago, I guess now. So, but it'll be good. They're good. I mean, they've got 3 really good guards, and they're averaging 17, 15, and 14. It's a lot from your starting backcourt, led by Clayton. Interesting enough, they're all kind of mid-transfers that transferred up. They've done a good job in the portal, but their front court's deep, and they're good as well. And, they don't score at the same clip as their guards do, but they rebound it well. They make a lot of winning plays. They just keep coming at you. They got all kinds of them. They've got 2 bigs off the bench that would start for 90%, 95% of all their high major programs. So their depth in the front court's, strong, and we're going to have to use some of our depth. We're going to need Aiden Sherrill to play really well. Thought he's had two good days of practice. I think, Diabate's played well in practice. Jaron's looked good. So, we'll be ready to go, and it'll be a good game. Be good for our seniors. Hopefully our crowd shows up, supports these seniors like they deserve to be supported.
Yeah, Coach, with Latrell and Houston not participating in senior night stuff, do you have confirmations on their medical redshirt statuses?
I mean, I don't think you get confirmation until you submit it all after the season, but they're both medically related, haven't played 30% of the games and didn't play in any game after the midway point, which are the rules. So I talking to Clark, he doesn't anticipate any issues with either of them. I mean, obviously, Wright's a torn Achilles, and Houston couldn't participate in any workouts all summer, was limited all fall, and still is limited in what he can do now. So I don't think he anticipates there being any issue with those 2 guys getting their medical red shirt.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about how well you guys played for most of the Tennessee game, but then with the disappointing end, just how do you kind of message, or what kind of message do you send the players in practice, and how have you seen them respond?
I mean, my point was, for 39 and a half minutes, we beat them. We're up 4. As the head coach, I've got to do a better job getting us to the finish line. We went through our into half, into game scenarios, pointed out where, we've got to do better, where I've got to make better decisions, where I could have done better, where they got to execute a few things better. And, if we come up with similar scenarios, we'll have a better plan. Players will understand we're trying to do better. I'll be better for them as a head coach. But I think more of the point was, over the course of life, it's going to be disappointments, setbacks. You're going to not get a job you wanted, you get fired from a job, you're going to, whatever it is, there's going to be lots of different things, major, minor. And you're going to pick yourself up off the ground and get moving. And we're going to own what we should have done better, starting with me. We're going to fix it. We're going to use it as an opportunity to make us a better team moving forward for the SEC tournament, for the NCAA tournament. We will be the most prepared team for end-of-game situations moving forward. And we'll use that to spur us on to be a better team for our run in March. So you can use it as a life lesson. Bible talks about a righteous man falls 7 times, gets up again, just keeps getting up, mistakes happen. Sometimes your adversity is caused by yourself. Sometimes it's caused by exterior forces that you have nothing to do with, no matter how it's caused. You got to get yourself going again, and we got to get going again. I thought we had a really good practice Monday. Thought we had a really good practice today. I think our seniors that we're going to honor tomorrow done a really good job leading, making sure the guys going to be ready to go, and I think you'll see a team ready to go on Wednesday.
Just with Mark, just how proud does it make you, with him being a kid from the state of Alabama, to see him come into this program and leave it in a better place than he's found it?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's a kid that was overlooked by ourselves. Shoot, he had no high major offers. Well, that includes University of Alabama when I was here. So, he goes out. Obviously, I'm sure he was a little disappointed. Kid as good as he was, chooses to take a year of prep school and leaves the state to try to get his offers better. Still doesn't have a high major offer. Goes to Ohio. If you go look at the beginning of his freshman year, didn't play much. I think he had some DNPs, to be honest with you. Kind of had to fight his way into the rotation. Did that. Didn't shoot it great his freshman year. I believe he was 28% from 3 his freshman year at Ohio. Put a ton of work in, turned himself into a very good shooter going into his sophomore year. Had an unbelievable year. And, had plenty of high major offers after that. When he went in the portal, we were fortunate enough to bring him back home. And the 3 years he's been with us, we were the number 1 overall seed his first year. He was the second leading scorer behind Brandon Miller, who's a pretty good basketball player. We won the SEC regular season tournament. And then the following year, we make the first Final Four ever in school history, and now we've put ourselves in a spot to make another big run. We're still in play to win the SEC tournament, still in play to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament and contend for a national championship, and that's the goal, that's the plan. And I think that, the fans here should come out, not just to recognize Mark, but it would be great to show him the recognition he deserves on senior day, being a kid from Alabama who's elevated this basketball program to heights never seen, particularly making the Final Four. Obviously, his first time ever in school history, but, and he's got 3 other guys with him that have had great careers, even though a little bit shorter than his, all in their own right here.
I want to ask you about the block versus charge call that seems to be eternally controversial in this sport. It seems like a lot of crews just reflexively call the block. So I'm wondering if you, as a coach, do you ever question whether or not you should coach guys to take the charge just because it's so hard sometimes to get the offensive foul called?
So that all changed when they changed the rule at the beginning of last year. There was a lot of charges called in college basketball. and it was a dangerous play in my opinion. Like guys would be sliding under. It's, you get some of the best athletes in the world going up the dunk, lay it in. Kid slides up under them. They fall. They completely eliminated that. You don't even see kids really trying to take that anymore because anything that was remotely close is now called a block. So there's a time and a place and you're probably referring to the off-ball charges. I do think we're still drawing a decent amount of on-ball charges, series where you take the elbow and you move your feet. It's more the help side where they come over. And with the way they changed the rule, you got to have both feet established before the offensive player's last step hits the ground. It's hard to get there. What's better, in my opinion, especially when your bigs are more often than not kind of the low man coming over to help, is just to come over and go vertical, jump straight up and down. If you technically go straight up and down, A to A, like I thought Grant did at the end of the game there, it's not supposed to be a foul. And I think you get better success doing that than you do trying to take a charge, because if it's not distinctly there with both feet set before they put their last step down, it's going to be a block every time. So, and if there's any contact in the restricted area, they got to be all the way out, then it's an automatic block too. So you got to be outside the lane, set. It's hard to do. There's not very many off-ball charges taken anymore. So we used to have some guys take lots of them in practice. We really don't have that many taken in practice anymore either, to be honest with you, just because it's not, sending guys to the free throw line on blocks. Those end up being and ones too often. So we've more taught that verticality than we have come over to take charges with our bigs.
Yeah, last season, you guys, before the NCAA tournament, lost 4 of your last 6. Does the way, and then you obviously went to the Final Four, does the way that last season ended going into the tournament change how you view or coach or view issues late in the season?
I mean, the thing it reminds you of is that there's always room to grow and get better, both as individuals and as a team. So, yeah, we had a tough loss at Tennessee. Lots of things we did well and a few we got to do better at. There's plenty of time to get better at them. Let's clean up what we got to get better at. Let's be the best team we can be. Let's just keep learning. We say it all the time. Last year was maybe the best example we've had of it around here. Just keep getting better. It doesn't matter whether you've lost 4 of 6, lost 2 in a row. Let's make sure we're better on the next game out. Give max effort on everything we got, and let's see what happens. And made a Final Four run. So, we're even more battle-tested this year than I think we were last year, with a much tougher SEC. We've got 2 unbelievably tough games coming up here to close out the regular season, and we'll be as battle-tested as any team I've ever had going into the SEC tournament. We're hoping to win the SEC tournament. That's the goal. If we don't win it, we'll obviously refer to last year's experience. Let's group ourselves together and make an NCAA tournament run and try to win 6 in a row there. So we'll just keep looking at getting better every time we go out. And I think last year proved that that's definitely something we can do and it's capable of doing, and that's going to be the goal.
You mentioned the regular season title being out of reach. After that buzzer beater, there was a few posts, that celebratory post. Did the guys see those? And if so, is there an extra fire in this team? Have you noticed?
I didn't. Somebody sent me one. I haven't even mentioned it to the guys. I'm sure some of our guys are on social media and saw it. I mean, obviously they don't like us. We don't like them either. It's kind of the way it goes in the state. If the roles would have been reversed, I'm sure we would have been celebrating winning a regular season championship as well. I mean, it was more to me like we lost, that guaranteed them the regular season championship. It's probably also helpful that it was Alabama that lost, I'm sure. So everybody plays to win championships. They won it. Got to give them their respect. They've done an unbelievable job this year. They're a good team. We get one more crack at them. But before we do that, we've got Florida. What we're talking about, we haven't even addressed anything to do with Auburn at all. The only thing we've really addressed is if we do win tomorrow, we guarantee ourselves a top 3 seed, which would be a bye straight to Friday, which is, if you're trying to win the SEC tournament, that's when you want to be playing your first games on Friday. So that's what we've talked about. You know, if some of the guys want to bring up that other stuff going into Saturday, it's up to them. I'm not going to be grown Auburn celebrating winning the championship. We were trying to win the same championship they just won.
Coach, when you talk about that 1 seed for the NCAA tournament, potentially still a possibility depending on the result in these last 2 and then the SEC tournament, obviously, has that factored into your message any with the guys as you talk about what you want to see them do well and execute down the stretch?
You know what? I briefly mentioned it, not a whole lot. I really want to just focus in on what it's going to take to beat Florida with really the SEC tournament coming before the NCAA tournament. If we do what we're supposed to over the next week and a half, that 1 seed will take care of itself. If we don't, and we're a 2 seed, we're going to have the same mindset going to the tournament as if we were 1 seed. Whoever gets put in front of us, you know, let's make a run. So, but I will say, you know, one seeds are 1 seeds for a reason. They're playing good basketball. We need to be playing our best basketball come March. That's really the goal. So let's get to the point where we are playing currently the best basketball we played all year, and I think we're close. Honestly, if we'd have closed that Tennessee game, that would have been one of our best games on both sides of the ball, and we were 30 seconds from closing it. And if those 30 seconds spur the coaching staff, the players on to being a much better situational basketball team into game, into half, you know, we did mess up the end of half too. Deal. So if that game spurs us on to be the best team at those situations, and that spurs us on to win some games in the NCAA tournament, may have been the best thing to happen to us.
Has the leadership from the seniors ahead of tomorrow's game been any different than previous games, would you say?
I mean, you know, after a tough loss that could linger, I think I've seen a lot better energy, leadership. You know, we've referenced this before, but last year when we lost to Tennessee at home, and that eliminated us from – it didn't eliminate us, but it made it a lot tougher to win. It took it out of our hands last year when we lost to Tennessee at home. We were no longer in full control of our own destiny as to whether we'd win the SEC regular season or not. Losing to Tennessee, when it got taken out of our hands, I didn't think our reaction going down to Florida was very good. This year, that one took it out totally in our hands, out of our hands, nothing. We can't win it. I thought the reaction to preparing for Florida Monday and today was a lot better than what I saw last year.